Well, welcome to another video, and if you have a DJI Mini 5 Pro, you will know that it's an absolute low-light machine thanks to its 1-inch sensor and dual native ISO. However, you might find that if you don't take special care of your settings, your footage might look a little bit like this, which is a little bit pants. So in order to avoid that, I've put together a video which is going to run through the key settings you need to take care of to make sure that your footage looks better, a little bit like this. Okay, so I'm going to keep this quick. Automatic settings work fantastically well. Now the good thing about auto settings is that the night mode that you've got built into the Mini 5 Pro will get automatically activated in automatic settings. There's no actual night mode you can set or select, just set auto settings and you will get quite good results. Then talking about sharpening and noise reduction. Now normally in daylight conditions I would suggest you reduce those down to about -1 or -2. But in night conditions, I find that noise control or noise reduction does actually work quite well. So I'd keep that at default of 0. Now, if like myself, you like to shoot in pro or manual conditions, then things are a little bit different. So first of all, the most important thing is at nighttime, make sure you choose the lowest possible shutter speed that you can. So for 30 frames per second, that's 1/30. If you shoot at 25 frames per second, that's 1/25. Now, I know that's conflicting with the 180 rule, which we all like to follow. But trust me, nighttime conditions with small drones, even with the mighty 1-inch sensor you've got on this drone, will benefit you and control your noise massively and give you better results in the end. Now, I like to shoot in ISO set to automatic and then use auto exposure lock to lock that in place. And you'll find that in these sort of conditions, you'll get an ISO of about just under 3200, which is fine. If you want to use manual ISO control, then I would choose somewhere between 1600 and 3200. Don't go higher than 3200 because again your noise is going to get too high. So that's where the low shutter speed comes into place, because you're going to need that in order to control your ISO to those kind of low levels. You'll see in the example footage I'm going to show you now that if you use higher shutter speeds of 1/120 or 1/60, you're just going to get too much noise in the shadows. The other thing is a shutter speed of 1/30 will ensure that artificial lights like fluorescent light sources, which tend to flicker at about 50 to 60 hertz, won't give you that sort of flickering look in your footage. So definitely avoid 1/60 or 1/50 for that purpose. If you're in automatic settings, if you select the anti-flicker option, that will automatically choose a shutter speed which will avoid that. But in manual mode, you obviously need to do that manually by choosing a low shutter speed of about 1/30 or 1/25. You can, however, take things one step further and use D-Log-M, but again, keep that shutter speed at as low as possible, 1/30, because again, even D-Log-M isn't invincible to noise. But it's quite interesting because if you use auto ISO settings in D-Log-M, I found for the same shutter speed compared to normal color mode, you get about half the ISO than you do in normal color mode, which is quite interesting. It's probably one of the reasons why the noise is better controlled in D-Log-M compared to normal color mode. So really quick summary, auto settings work great. Keep your shutter speed at as low as possible, 1/30 or 1/25. Leave your sharpening and noise reduction to default, 0. Pro settings, lowest possible shutter speed. ISO between 1600 up to a maximum of 3200, nothing higher. And D-Log-M, again, ISO about 1600-ish, not much higher than that, 3200 as an absolute maximum. Okay, then some general lighting tips. Now, even though it's absolute pitch black nighttime here in London at the moment, you'll see that it's actually still fairly well lit up. We've got a lot of ambient light, a lot of light sources around us, and that really helps. So you're going to get great results at any time of night in London. If you're somewhere more rural, you might find that blue hour or just after golden hour is actually a better time to take night footage because you've got a little bit more ambient light, and that really just helps things look a little bit more interesting, even though it's technically going to look like a nighttime shot. Then a few quick safety tips for flying in this kind of environment or at night. First of all, use a strobe. This is a small strobe which you can buy from Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description below. Anything like that, just make sure that you keep up with legalities. Bear in mind that on a drone like the DJI Mini 5 Pro, which is just under 250 grams, a little strobe like this weighing about 10 grams will push it over 250 grams and might then turn it into a different classified drone. Then specific to this location by Tower Bridge, how can I fly here? Well, I'm just going to quickly show you on the Drone Assist app what the no-fly zones around here look like and how you can fly in this particular area near Tower Bridge. So looking around about the Tower Bridge area, there are two no-fly zones that we need to consider. The first one is the EJR 160, which is a huge no-fly zone which covers most of London, but most crucially, that one is specific to manned helicopters and not drone pilots. So as long as you're not conflicting with other no-fly zones, you are allowed to fly in that zone. But it's important to consider any other no-fly zones. And talking of which, we then have the EJR 158, which is the City of London, another big no-fly zone, but that one starts pretty much smack bang on Tower Bridge itself. So as long as you stay east of Tower Bridge, you are fine to fly, again, within visual line of sight and adhering to all other drone rules in city environments. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick video on top tips on how you can achieve the best possible night flying video performance. If you liked it, remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until next time, happy flying, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.